Hello, and welcome to Reddit Camp. I am Marc, and today's guests are Kayla and Daniel. Thank you guys so much for being here. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, my name is Daniel. I am 26 years old, and I hope my opinion matters.
Whoa. I am Kayla. I'm also 26, and I'm just trying to live life. These are real things that happen to us with our opinions, so.
Alrighty. Well, it's about mid-December, and we're moving closer and closer to Christmas and further from Thanksgiving and Halloween. So we thought, what better way to get in the holiday season than by reading some holiday-themed Reddit stories? But before that, how are y'all feeling about this Christmas, and what is your favorite holiday?
First of all, I'm going to go ahead and answer for Kayla because I know her favorite holiday. Her favorite holiday is Halloween. My favorite holiday is... I don't know, honestly. I think it would be our anniversary.
Ooh, cop-out answer.
I know, and I was gonna be me. I was gonna be like, typical men being for women. I'm just kidding.
Well, I think we know why his anniversary is his favorite holiday, but why is Halloween your favorite holiday?
Because I like spooky stuff. Live on the morbid side.
Right, because we do have at least one story that's around Halloween.
Ooh.
Well, I'll say something.
Okay.
I think that's just a lot about my looks.
What?
Because she likes spooky things.
She said morbid.
And I'm dead.
Well, with that, let's get into it. Our first story of the day comes from Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for buying my wife a Roomba for Christmas? So this happened last year, but since it still gets brought up during arguments every now and then, and I just discovered this subreddit, I decided to check what you guys think. Me and my wife have 2 children, 15 female and 11 male. My wife has been a stay-at-home mom since the birth of our second child. I, a 46 male, work full-time and earn a 6-figure salary. My job is highly stressful, requires me to travel a lot, and mostly sleep in hotels. I only get to come home to my family on every second weekend on average. Despite working a lot, I'm glad to do it so that my family can live a comfortable life. Last year, I decided to buy my wife a Roomba for Christmas. My wife tends to be the one who vacuums the house, so I presumed that she would like this present as it would free her of this chore. As she unpacked the present, she was heavily offended and did not hesitate to show it, which made the whole situation quite uncomfortable as my parents and other members of the family were also present. She argued that this should not be a present directed at her, but at the whole family, as it is the entire family's responsibility to clean up the house. Since I work and am the sole source of income in the family and she's a stay-at-home mother, I think it is apparent that she should take on responsibilities such as taking care of the kids and maintaining the house. The gift was intended to somewhat relieve her of this burden. I personally would have loved to have received a Christmas gift that would have somehow made it possible for me to spend less time working. As cheesy as it sounds, I think that time is one of the most precious gifts, and that Roomba would have definitely bought some time for her. Time that she could use to do whatever she pleased instead of vacuuming. Unfortunately, 1 year later, this still often gets brought up during arguments, often coupled with her crying. So, am I the asshole in this situation? Edit. I should also add that I would have never gifted my wife a vacuum cleaner or anything along those lines. I saw the Roomba as a robot that would fully take on this task, which is why I thought it was a good idea. Edit 2. I asked her numerous times before Christmas last year what she would have liked to receive, and she repeatedly told me that she does not want anything. I was left to guess and chose the most practical gift that I was certain she would be able to make use of.
Okay. Hold on. Let me stop. Hold on.
I would
Look, from a man's standpoint, I can see why he thought this was the most practical thing, because I did this myself. However, I had a very different response to it. It was more of I do this, so I don't see why we need it. But after I told my wife, hey, this could, relieve you from doing this, from having to sweep, go back and all that, pick up all this trash, I saw her mind change a little. However, it wasn't a Christmas gift. I didn't give it to her like I don't know, where like intending it to be just for her. I kind of brought it up to her to buy it as like a household item. So I can see why she brought that up, but I can also see why he bought it as a practical item because she didn't tell him like what kind of things she would have liked. So that's what he went with.
What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I don't think he's an asshole. I think he was trying to be thoughtful and help her out. But yeah, I did have something like that happen to me where he wanted to buy, a vacuum that'll just, take care of the whole place by itself. And I didn't think we needed that. I was just like, I sweep, I mop, like I do it fine. I don't care. I don't mind doing it. So like, why do we need that?
Yeah.
But he told me like in the best way, just that he wanted to help take a task off of my hand, like something to help me out, like caring about me, even though I'm a stay-at-home mom. And so to me, that was like, oh wow, he's caring about me. He wants to make my life easier. And I appreciate that. And so I was happy he got it. But she does not seem to be taking it that way.
Yeah, and I think this somewhat comes down to like who the person is that's receiving the gift and how they're gonna take it. But I do think that somewhat comes down to like communication and like knowing your partner and like talking about it. Like I know like in your case, Daniel, you were saying that you like discussed it with them, like you brought it up and talked about it with them, but that level of communication was there, while in his case, he bought it. Now that's somewhat because she didn't mention what it was. Like he says in here, like he tried to, but she didn't tell him. But like when it comes to Christmas, it then becomes, how well do you know that person?
Yeah.
Like if they won't give you a list, it's like, can you find something for them? Because like my first thought when reading this was, well, it's kind of like when everyone gets their dad a birthday tie or a Christmas tie, and it's like, all you think about them as that tie, but like, what about them as a person? Like, do you sit there and think about what they like, what they normally do, or do you just see them as the provider for the family?
Okay.
And I totally understand that. I actually have a whole nother thing, like a whole nother example. So I have a stepdad, and he provides for, his whole family. He works all the time. And every year when Christmas comes up, nobody knows what to get him.
Not a bag.
But we were thinking, and we were like, hey, like, we should get him something practical to help with, like, what he does around the house. So we want to get, like, an electric... Was it like a mini chainsaw?
Yeah, it's like a chainsaw to cut branches.
Yeah, to cut branches. And that's a household
Chore.
Yeah, household chore. This is something that's going to make it easier. And it could go either way. He could feel like, oh, this is so cool. This is going to make it easier. Or he could be like, wow, these people don't know what I'm interested in. Like, I want something for like the luxuries of life, right? Like for leisure, not for making my, responsibilities easier. So I think that's kind of what's going on here. She felt like she wanted something of leisure, something like, how do I say it? Just for fun versus a responsibility.
I have a question. Did she get upset in the moment, like when she got the...
From the story, yeah, because he mentions that it made it awkward for the family and everything.
In my opinion, she would be the ass.
Yeah.
He's giving you a Christmas gift. Play it off until you get one, bro. And then, like...
Well, is it a like Christmas or just like her intimate, like immediate family?
They made it sound like it was like a family. Uncomfortable as my parents and other members of the family were also present.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
that's rough.
If it was the whole family thing in this case, she would be asked. So she should have kept it, to herself until they got home and then explained it to him. Matter of fact, maybe even keep the Roomba and this time tell him what are your interests. Yeah, we can make it right. In a way, and buy you something that you actually like.
Yeah. Even after the holiday, she could have just been like, hey, I really didn't like that. Like, can we return it and get
Something else.
something else? Maybe
Maybe.
wanted like the spa day or something.
Yeah, maybe she likes to read.
Yeah. Yeah, and I could see that. Again, I think it comes down to some level of communication. I agree that it's kind of an a-hole thing to be like doing it like in front of everyone. Like it's Christmas, the whole family's there, like the parents, extended family. You know, I mean, wait until you're at home or something where you're not around everyone. But I kind of also I can see why it bothers her in the sense of like, this is something you should know about your partner on whether or not that it's possible that it would make them mad and be able to talk that out with them. Now, there is some stuff that's probably bigger here. He mentioned that he only gets to go home every other weekend. So he's not home for what, almost 13 days, probably 10 days at a time. And he's only back for like 2 days. And it's like, okay, so like, we don't spend any time. Like maybe you should, maybe.
Does it say what kind of work he's doing?
I don't think he
Just says
specified.
that he's, gone. Now, my boss, he goes home every week, but he's not there. Like he goes home every weekend, but he's not there like the whole rest of the week.
Yeah.
But in this company that I'm with, if you were to be single and they send you out of state, it would be the same scenario. But it's because you're single. So I think in this case, depending on the line of work that he is in, he could look into a different kind of job that cares more about your family, a job that will send you home maybe,
Yeah.
every week.
But he makes 6 figures, so he's doing a good job providing for his family. I just feel like that's probably something they've already discussed.
They might have
Come to a
Conclusion that
Yeah, and the my point with it was more that he's not there so much. He might not really know her. Like, are they talking a lot while he's on the road? Is he talking to them every day, or do they not have this line of communication? Like, is the issue in the relationship deeper than him buying the Roomba? If he doesn't know this about her, and they have at least 2 kids, and the oldest is 15.
Yeah.
Then you were with each other for at least longer than 15 years, and you don't know that your wife would get upset about this type of gift to at least communicate it with them. Like, I feel like there's probably a bigger issue there than the Roomba itself.
But yeah, it might just be more about the connection, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I think at the base, it's the connection, even if that's not exact. Like, maybe she is mad about the Roomba, but maybe the issue, the deep part of the root of what caused the issue was the connection and the communication.
That he's not there.
Yeah.
And the before, and she was like, "No, don't give me." He still did it.
And he like didn't remember or cared about it.
Didn't remember because they.
I don't know how old this story is, but if you happen to hear this, put more info.
If I remember correctly from pulling this up, it was like 2019, but I could be wrong, guys. Like, it could have been 2022.
Probably.
Are you
Actually, it could have been this year. It really could have.
Yeah.
I think it could have been this year.
this year, last year,
Well, I think they put.
already passed.
I think they brought it up this year going into this Christmas. Posted it, and it was because the story was from last year.
Yeah.
Because he only hit it on Roomba, bro. If you're listening to this, don't get your way for Roomba. At least punch her first.
On a Roomba.
With that,
Tell you what, give her a $1,000 gift card, bro.
Do that. Do that.
I know that we are saying that we don't necessarily feel that he's necessarily the asshole, but the overall verdict of this from Reddit was that he is the asshole. It's okay.
Oh, shit.
The asshole. But we have some comments here, so let's look into them and see if we agree why or can get a better understanding.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So, comments. You're the asshole. That's a gift for the household and not her. It shows you primarily regard her as a housekeeper and not a partner. What interests does she have that are not about serving you and the family? Another comment. Seriously, I'd be giving my husband daily happy time or fun time. Sorry, had to translate that out. For a month if I got a Roomba for Christmas. It would free up so much time for me, possibly terrifying the kids into keeping their stuff together and mess with the dogs at the same time.
Hey, I will say my son is terrified of the
It works. It works, bro. He's like, I vacuum.
Third
Third comment. OP, this is not the asshole sign of miscommunication. You sold us something nice that takes a duty that she generally manages off of her plate. She sees it as proof that you view her as a glorified cleaning lady. And this is part of what like I was saying, where I feel like it's just like a communication thing where it's like y'all are not seeing it the same way as each other. But I do think that whenever you're giving the gift, that it comes down to the person receiving this gift's opinion as well. Like maybe a bit more than what your purpose was.
Yeah.
Fourth one, I suspect the Roomba isn't the problem. It's symbolic of whatever other miscommunications are present in your marriage. And we were talking about that a little bit as well. I agree with that. Fourth comment, you're the asshole. It's not thoughtful or kind to give your partner a gift that isn't for them and does nothing but help clean the house. Something like that should be a family gift from Santa or not given as a Christmas at all.
Okay, can we pause on the comments? So I want to say, I do think that the comments are changing based on how people were raised and how they were raised to give. Some people gift only fun items and others gift responsibility items. Like some people will give hygiene stuff for fun and some people give hygiene for responsibility. It's like just depending on what your family thought was an acceptable gift for each other.
My mom.
In my family, we can gift household items, even like cleaning supplies. I would be happy to be gifted cleaning supplies, hygiene stuff, so I don't have to buy it myself. But other people do not think that's okay. They think like, oh, get me a nice bracelet, get me a spa treatment, you know?
Yeah.
It's just different opinions and different ways they were raised.
Yeah. And though I think that is part of the thing, is like, okay, you've been married, you have a 15-year-old child, you don't quite know this. You don't quite know this yet about your partner. Like, I feel like if you have a 15-year-old child, you should know what type of family they were raised in to know whether or not that would be something they would normally receive or not.
I feel like I agree with you. I agree with what you said. But I also think that it's not just two types. I think there's a third type where it's like, I would say somebody more like me where I love to get like, I'm a grown ass man, but I love to get toys. I also appreciate like hygiene or household stuff, like whatever it is, I'm going to take it and show you the appreciation, you know, because no matter what it is to me, you spend time thinking about me and money to get stuff. So it's like it's a lot more than I got when I was younger.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if from her perspective, it's almost like, I don't know if you actually spent time thinking about me. Like, did you sit there and think what could work for her? Or was like the first thought in your head about me, oh, I clean the house. And that's all you think.
I would say he did see her as she works around the house a lot. I bet she is tired of doing a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think he did it in a way of, oh, she is just like a cleaner or a slave or whatever in the house. I think he was honestly just trying to relieve her from the duties that she does and make it a lot easier for her, because now she could have an hour to do something else that she could have spent, you know, sleeping and mopping. And
yeah, I think you can tell based off of the way he put the post that he didn't have ill intention. But did he spend more time writing that post than he does talking to his own wife? That's the question.
That is it.
Maybe the communication is just that bad.
It might be. It is one of those things where we don't know and only kind of make assumptions. I want to assume that he didn't do it with ill intent, but the hard part is I want to say, look, you just need to talk to her and like actually talk it through. But in his comment, he did say like every single time they talk, like she ends up crying. But it's like, okay, but why is she crying?
Exactly. Tell us why. Tell us why is she crying? Because I know she's telling him, like, hey, this is my issue. This is why it hurts me. But is he hearing them?
in which case I will assume that he maybe is not, because he is too focused on what he is doing right, what he thinks he is doing right, to fully understand why she feels this way.
Yeah, I think that kind of comes clear with the fact that he's writing this post after a year because he's one, the post is that the arguments are still happening, and two, he's still talking about it like I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, look, you didn't necessarily do anything wrong with it, but like if you're talking to her and she's saying this isn't something I like and it's because it makes me feel like this, and you're not going, hey, look, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel this way. Like that wasn't the purpose of this. I was doing it because I thought it would do this. Like I can see why you would feel that way. I didn't mean to do that. I'll make sure not to do that in the future. And then like this could have been like swept under the rug. It wouldn't be like an argument anymore. And then like in the next Christmas, you know that's not stuff that she would like. Yeah. And that type of communication would probably help. But if every single time y'all talk about this, it almost sounds like you're stomping your foot down. Like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I'm not gonna hear that this hurts you. Like, I am not wrong. Yeah. Okay.
Laughing because someone we know. Look, marriages are marriages.
Man, it's not easy. There has to be a lot of forgiveness in it and a lot of communication. Communication is key. And whenever I would hear people say that, I would be like, that sounds so dumb. It is not. It is honestly all it takes in marriage. It's communication and understanding each other.
All right. Well, let's move on to our next story. Our next story comes from the subreddit True Off My Chest. Guy I'm seeing legitimately thinks Santa Claus is real.
Crazy, dude.
So, like the question is like, okay, how old is he? Right? It's, like, is this from a 13-year-old or 10-year-old, or is this like a full-on adult?
What's that guy of that one show, Chris? What?
Huh?
That dude that catches pedophiles. What's his name?
Chris Handsome. It's
yeah, homeboy's 13. That was fair.
Alrighty. So the story goes, I think he actually believes Santa is a real person in some capacity and thinks he delivers presents to his family personally. I'm probably going to leave tomorrow because it's been awful so far and I just want out. I'll call him Adam. Adam is a 25 male from a pretty rural area up in the mountains. And they're keeping it vague on purpose. And his family are what I'd consider religious extremists. He told me this before I, 23 female, came to see them for Christmas. That they were very religious, as are mine, so I thought it would be similar. I'm not seeing my own family as I just have my abusive mom left and we are not communicating. I've only been seeing him a couple of months and his beliefs have only come up minimally and Santa Claus was not part of that. I don't even think we'd mentioned it at all, despite walking around Walmart with Christmas decorations/holiday stuff on shelves and him saying he wishes there were more Christian decor. Adam and his family call Santa Saint Nick to start off with. He has a large family and we had a lot of regular Christmas Eve activities all day, including cooking breakfast and dinner with his family, sitting around and playing with the children, going to a church event around lunchtime. When we went to church, his mom would shake her head disapproving at some references towards Santa Claus the pastor would make and would whisper to his younger brother and her nephew next to her. I didn't hear what she said. When we made dinner, she told me to fix a plate for Saint Nick, and I laughed and said, cookies aren't enough? And Adam shot me a horrified look. I felt the gaze of his mother, and she gave me this sort of fake smile and said, no, hon, that's not a filling meal. So I loaded up as much as I gave Adam and the men in his family and put it on a plate. His mom put tinfoil over it and put it in the fridge in the garage. At some point, about 2/3 his family left. The children went to bed. After about an hour of it being dark, Adam's mom told me to go settle into bed so St. Nick can have his dinner and start to deliver presents. This gave me the implication that he would start his night here, rather than just stop by and have cookies and leave. I'm not sure. His mom read a couple passages out of the Bible about family as we sat around their wood-burning stove and we discussed my family situation a bit. Adam's dad then told Adam and I, as well as his little sister, to go to the guest house to sleep. It was about 9 p.m. I changed in the bathroom and said my goodnight to them, and I was about to walk out the door with Adam when his mom snapped her fingers and said, Helen, you're forgetting the most important part of Christmas. Adam looked pale for a sec before kind of nervously laughing and stepped back through the door while holding my hand. We went into the garage where he grabbed the plate. I said something like, she's really serious about Santa getting his food, huh? Trying to lighten the mood, he squeezed my hand really hard and said yes. I stayed furious. We went back in to microwave the meal, and we awkwardly stood there in front of the microwave watching the plate turn around. I felt his parents' gaze on the back of my head. I said something again. I can't even remember what. Kind of lighthearted about Santa having a full stomach if he eats like this at every house. Adam gripped my hand harder than he did before, and the first sign of affection he had given me in front of his parents all night, and said, "His name is Saint Nicholas, and he only eats his dinner here. Do not be disrespectful in our home." It sounds calm all typed out like that, but the way he said it gave me chills. His parents didn't say anything, and I felt like I was going to cry. I left to walk in the backyard to the guest house, and his sister was waiting in this mostly empty living room area in there. She said she started the wood-burning stove there, and she showed me where to sleep, a twin bed next to her, and said Adam would be in the next room over with his younger brother. I just lay down, and I heard Adam come in maybe half an hour later and go straight to bed. I've just been laying here, unable to sleep because I'm so anxious, lol, and I already hear movement in the main house at this point, and I don't know what to think. I thought after everyone had left, mostly small children, the Saint Nick talk would end, and I think his family, or at least him and everyone younger, legitimately believe this is a real person. His parents are really strict and live relatively off-grid and isolated. I barely have service here, so I'll see if this posts. Because I can't even text my friend SOS right now. I feel like I'm in a horror movie where they believe Santa is like a distant uncle or something. Does anyone know of any traditions like this? They killed a pig sometime in the last week, as well as a couple chickens, and the whole family is coming back tomorrow. And maybe it'll be a little less weird with more people here. A few of his cousins gave me a more modern vibe rather than the rest of his nuclear family. But I don't know. I might just head back and stay at my apartment a couple hours away alone. I don't think I can continue seeing him. It's just been so weird.
Run, bitch.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe it gives the whole time. Like, I don't know, almost cult-ish vibe.
I don't. It's
For
very maybe he knows Santa's not real, but his parents have something to do with it.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows, but he can't like go against it. To me, that's kind of what it seems. So I'm not sure. What do you?
I don't think I would stay with him. That's for sure. I would be running to my apartment. It did at first seem like, okay, maybe they're keeping up a facade for the little sister.
How old is the little sister?
Or
What did they say?
Chocolate. So I think it's a little shocking that they're like, oh, it's St. Nicholas, like, you know, that's our Santa, this and that. When from a religious standpoint, I guess it depends what religion they are. But usually that's like, you know, his birthday. There is a St. Nicholas, but like in most religions, they focus on it being Jesus' birthday. Not
that's a thing.
glorifying, you know, St. Nicholas and like being weird about
A lot of people have this saying that goes, well, I don't know if you guys have heard it, but teach about Jesus before you teach about sin.
Yeah.
I personally agree with it. I don't know why they're so heavily into Santa before God.
Yeah, definitely those things where it's like they seem like a very extreme religious family, which I would understand a bit more and be okay with. Like it was like, hey, look, we focus on Jesus during Christmas. Like our decorations are like nativity scenes and stuff like that, and not Santa Claus. But they're still so focused on Santa, not Jesus, and
Call him Nick.
Well,
yeah, Saint Nick.
I know.
yeah.
But it's like you're just so focused on him. Like if you genuinely believes like he comes over, like he's the real. He really comes over and brings a full meal.
Does the meal just go bad, or does someone go?
Somebody.
I kind of assume the mom does without there's he's
Saying, but then they know.
What if it's the grandparents? What if the grandparents raised the mom to be like this, and then her husband, like she kind of dragged into it. Hey, she was telling her husband, like, look, watch, like we're gonna be here it's gonna go right, and the grandparents are the ones that still sneak in and get it.
That's a
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah, but when they die, that's gonna like,
and then they're gonna find out when they die. They're gonna leave them a note that says it was us $8 Santa
okay, look,
plates.
despite all of this, right? Despite all of this, the way he talked to her and the way he was so stern and was like, "You are not disrespecting this house," like to the point where she was scared. That's enough reason to dip, girl. You should not be with that man. I'm just saying.
Excuse it, man.
That boy. But look,
Yeah.
everyone has their own beliefs. They're a little crazy for me. But for them, that's them.
You just
But she should not be with him, that's for sure.
Honestly, it's crazy. I would find it more excusable if it was simply that he believed in Santa.
yeah.
Like if it was simply like, yeah, no, I believe in Santa. He comes and brings gifts and all that, right? I would still find it funny and be like, yo, maybe don't say it. But it would still be more excusable than this, like, I believe in Santa and here's the strict rules with him and here's how hard we believe and everything. Like, you cannot do this or that or like anything like that. Like, it becomes a little even more extreme of an issue.
Yeah.
I do feel bad for this dude because it does seem a little like he was embarrassed. And he was doing it anyways for his parents.
Yeah.
But he's also wrapped in it. That's his family. So then that's why he was stern with her and was like, don't be disrespectful,
Yeah.
Like, that's his mom, that's his dad.
Which mattering on what level they are in the relationship, it's like I can kind of understand, like, hey, like, don't be disrespectful, but like maybe don't say it like that. Like
Yeah.
like, hey, look, I don't necessarily believe in this, but like,
I would say they're very young, so they lack that maturity to communicate that way still, I think. He still lives with his parents.
well, I don't know if he lived or he was just visiting.
Oh, damn. Never mind then.
And she has her own apartment.
Yeah, it's like some hours away, a couple hours away, and I want to assume that if she's a couple hours away in an apartment, that he lives either closer by or with her.
closer by.
Because if he lives with his parents, that's a far drive, and 25, 23, like,
I do
usually don't see those long distance.
Yeah.
I do wonder
It
as well.
seems like they might not happen.
Not
That
It was she said like that she knows him and he's never like come off like this. Like they go to the stores and look at Christmas decorations, but he's never like,
Oh, no.
oh, this is Saint Nicholas and you should know that.
Yeah.
He means a lot in my house.
People hit you with that.
Oh, daddy. But like, I mean,
And on Christmas, we leave a full plate of food out for him, and he comes and he's like, like
it's one of those things where it's like, okay, why didn't you prepare her for this before? Like, okay,
Yeah.
like if you
really should.
like, yeah, and if you think, because part of it was like, no, he only eats here. Like, so then at least even in your own beliefs, this doesn't happen at other people's houses. So it's like, at least explain and prepare her. And like, if you don't believe it, then probably give her a heads up, like, look, I'm gonna have to act a certain way, like, or I have to do this just because it's my parents. I want to see my family during
At
Christmas.
least give her a chance to leave before you scare her to death.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, what'd you think once she experienced this? She was like, yes, no, I'm here. I'm gonna stay with you forever.
No.
That's crazy.
Alrighty. I hope y'all have a great holiday season. Happy holidays, and thank you so much for watching. Let us know if there are any stories you would like to hear next time, and we will see you next week.
Bye. These people are weird.
People are crazy.
Oh yeah.